Welcome to the Girl from Bombay podcast with Jules Williams. Telling stories, touching lives, connecting people, bringing encouragement and hope. And now here's Jules.
Hello, this is the Girl from Bombay and welcome to my platform. Today I have with me a very, very special guest who is also a dear friend, Gretchen Kadillak.
Hello, Jules.
Hi, how are you this afternoon, I should say?
I'm wonderful, and I'm so excited to be here with you.
And I'm so happy to have known you over the past almost over a year. And it's been a great journey, and we have evolved into, being more defined and different from when we started our journey, learning more about ourselves. And I'm very happy to have you here. I was happy when I first met you. I was kind of intrigued by you because one of the things you said to me was, I'm always here for you. And I was like, that's hardly possible. But you have always been there. You've been such a big help, not only to me, but to many women who is that's your goal. But I'll let you talk about it. So the first thing, I'd like to introduce you as someone who created this wonderful, I would say, a company, right, called A Powerful You. And tell me a little bit, why Powerful You, Gretchen, and what makes you tick?
Oh, wonderful, Jules. Thank you so much. And it's been so wonderful to be on this journey with you. And I created my company, A Powerful You, about 7 years ago. And I'm very, very passionate about self-empowerment for women, which includes so many things: self-care, self-worth, self-love, and finding the ways to nurture yourself. When I know so many women in the world take so much time to nurture other people, they have so much on their plate, particularly as a woman, as the center of the wheel that makes everything go round. So I just really want to stand in the middle of saying to women everywhere, I see you, you matter, your journey matters, and what you do to take care of you matters, so that you can keep filling your cup to pour it out onto everyone else.
Great. And when you meet women, when you coach them or you're with them in these programs, what is it, something that you see that kind of hurts you about women? Like you want to fix something or help them. Would you like to throw some light on that?
I would, Jules. That's, so important. And I think one of the things that hurts me the most is when women say, what's wrong with me? And I can't do this, or I am unable to complete this task, or I have this goal and I can't seem to find the time to get it done. And I think that's the hardest thing for me to hear, because I believe each of us is gifted with special treasures to give to the world. And one of the things that hurts me is when women say, I just don't know how to fit it in, or I can't find the time for me. And I think that I really want to say to them, I understand. And I know how hard it is to find time for you to make those moments matter. But I really, really am passionate. And I think you touched on earlier about how we need to have people standing with us and saying, I see you and you can do this. And if it's just a grown-up cheerleader, or you need accountability, or you need a goal check or vision board, I feel like it's all right there. And I also feel like whatever you dream, you should be able to make it happen.
Great. I remember one of the things when I first joined your, the group that we have is you talked about, finding time for yourself, resting. And I was very resistant to that because I come from an environment, especially with my parents, where we were made to work hard. And so for me to rest in the afternoon would be like, I can do this. But then as I began to be involved with you and the group, I would say, that's okay. I can rest. I can, sit here with a cup of tea and I can look out at the bay and just give myself permission to fill my cup.
Yeah.
And I think that was a very important thing that kind of stuck with me through the times that we have had together.
I love that. And I think that what we're talking about is restoring ourselves, our spirit, time to just rest our brain, our body. And also when we do that, we're really doing something. Sometimes we think, oh, I'm just, sitting here, I'm not doing anything, I'm just drinking this cup of tea, I'm just having a quiet moment. But the truth is that we all need restorative time. We need time to take a breath, take a moment, and just think about where we're at, because we're going at such a dizzying pace sometimes that we don't allow ourselves the clarity to know where we're going.
True, that's right. And especially now with the social media and, all this pressure that is around people to perform. How many people perform because, they would like to see the like button or the love button.
Yes.
And so what would you advise to somebody who's on that journey, who would think, I need to be liked, I need to be loved by, these people that you don't even really know. And then you feel you're a failure. And you, as a certified life coach who is wanting to help women to, feel better about themselves, real about themselves, what is the reality? What would be your advice to a person who's in that place?
Oh, I love that. I think social media is really interesting right now, right? Because it's all about looking good. And I feel like that's, something that we should really just have a self-check. And one of the things that I recommend is to just stop sometimes and say, what is my what is my why? What is really my truth? What is it that's important for me to accomplish? And maybe it's a small thing, maybe it's a large thing, maybe it's many things. But the truth is that only you know for sure what it is that your why is. And it even comes down to some clarity about what is your bullseye, right? So when we look at our why, it can be something that we really want to target and say, well, what is my bullseye? What is it that's that thing? And if that's a thing that you're projecting on social media, I say go for it. But if you're projecting on social media just these things that you think will get a like or get a follower, I just beg you to take a look and see if that's really what you're passionate about. And does that really make you feel fulfilled? Because the truth is that I'm feeling like that's just a superficial like, rather than a really deep felt, that's me like. And I think also we're learning a lot about self-love. I think the truth is that you can get affirmation from the external world, be it social media or other places. But the truth is that really you need to have that self-love for you. What is it that really makes me happy? What is my why? And when you target in on that bullseye, you get clarity. What is it that I need to do? What do I need to pick up the ball and run with, right? And what are the things that are distracting me? And what are the things I need to let go because they are distracting me? So I think those are the things that I really try to hone in on. So for example, if I have someone come to me and they say, oh my gosh, here's what I need. I need to lose weight. I say, perfect. Tell me more. Because generally the truth is that when you scratch the surface, that might be the surface topic, but underneath it could be much, much more that you're yearning for, that you desire, that you have a goal for, that would make you feel fulfilled. So I just keep saying, let's keep asking ourselves the question, the real truth. What is your truth? What is your why?
Great. And even as you offer courses too, right? I mean, people can join a seminar or a short course or individual coaching.
Yes, for sure. Both.
Would you like to tell us something about it?
Absolutely. So I have a website. It's apowerfulyou.com. I'm happy for you to go and check it out. And my workshops are kind of a work in progress, but I know that come next year, I'll be having courses. I'd like to do an 8-week course. And in a position where we're all trying to figure it out together, right? We're all maybe on a little bit of a different path. We all maybe have a little bit of a different why, but we're going to go through a series where we can just really start to nail it down, find our bullseye, find what our clarity is, allow some things to be let go, and just really get on a path. and find some accountability too, which is always great. Like-minded women is always a pleasure. So those are one of the things that I do. The other thing I do is I do offer one-on-one coaching, mainly through Zoom right now, because we're all over the world. And I think Zoom is such a fabulous tool.
True.
But the biggest thing about that is that I just really want to be there for women. I want to say that in this world where we get so busy and we have all this on our plate, I just want to say that I really want to take time to just get to know what your passions are, what your why is, and help you hold that and find your path to what it is you're really, really passionate about.
Absolutely. And I think even as you say those words, and somebody who's watching us right now, I'd like to tell you that Gretchen really means what she says. And I have been with her on an accountability journey, and it has been really wonderful. She has been there, and she not only takes pride and is your cheerleader, but actually helps you through the maze with whatever, in whatever way she can. And if she doesn't know how, then she'll find out and she'll help you. And I think that's such a great asset in somebody's life to accomplish goals. And Gretchen, I'd like you to talk something more about accountability, because most time when people think about being accountable to someone, there's kind of a fear, and people think, oh my gosh, I have to be accountable now, I have to get this done. But I have seen with you, you have kind of a different take on accountability. And I'd like you to share your view on that.
I love that, Jules. Well, I really think we're all in different places. So I think when we talk about accountability, perhaps it means different things to different people. So I know that I have some clients that they absolutely need a drop dead date, right? I'm going to get this done by this date, and that holds them accountable. It's kind of like, feet to the fire. But there's other people that I talk with, and I have one person that immediately springs to mind, and she's on a journey. She's on a beautiful journey to write a book. And we've had some breakdowns along the way. And my belief about that is that breakdowns really lead to breakthroughs. And so we've had a couple of dates, and we've missed the dates. But the truth is that along this journey, we're learning so much together. So I think that that's what accountability means to me. What are you being accountable to for yourself? If you need to take more time, absolutely. Like, I want to hear that, because that's really the truth of the journey. It's not always that end goal that you cross the finish line. It's the journey, right? So we're learning every step of the way along the journey. So with this particular person, I love that she's learning all along the way. And the truth is that along with her learning, I believe her story is getting better. She's finding more and more of the truth to put on the pages of that book that will make it more authentic to who she truly is.
True, that's wonderful. Now, talking about, coaching and having women to nurture themselves and realize their potential and who they are, one of the things that I really like about being in a relationship with you, which I'd also like others to hear about, the positive things about it, is that you're married now, I think, for 35 years.
Yes.
And you have 3 grown-up children, right? And this aspect of your life as a wife and a mother, particularly as a mother, in today's world, ever-changing world, it's changing so fast, with all the apps that come in. It's like that. Lives change, relationships kind of metamorphose really quickly. As a mother, I see there's one important thing is that I'll always hold the door open. And, women are going to listen to this conversation. And I believe many women who are probably in our age group and have grown up children are facing the same struggle. I see that, I hear that, and I talk to other women, and this is the same struggle, because it's almost like, though you have an empty nest, but it looks like they're flown too fast and they're out of your reach. You speak a different language, right? We speak different languages now. We speak English, but it's a different language. I'd really like you to share some of those struggles and how you have been able to kind of come to some place of reconciliation of those changes.
I love that, Jules. Yes, I am truly in the empty nesting phase. Some people call it our third chapter. I love both. I can truly say that I am a mom that has struggled with letting go a little bit, and that I have loved every minute of being a mom. And I am still a mom, but I think what happens, and I was trying to explain this to one of my younger children, is that I've had a certain job description for a lot of years. And then it's like someone walked into the room and they said, okay, you know that job you were doing? Well, we're going to change that all up. We don't know exactly how it looks now, but these guys don't need you, but you still need to be there, but you don't know exactly in what capacity. And so I just feel a little like, oh my gosh, like a little thrown off my dot. And also, flip side, feel very excited about what's next. And there's a big and there, that I still want to maintain a deep connection with my children. And what I feel like as a mom, which is so interesting and so fascinating, is that as they grow up, they have this amazing journey all on their own. They're picking their own people, they're picking their own places, their own careers, their hobbies. And I still want to get to know those people and be with those people. And I feel like that's my journey, is to continue to maintain that connection. So when I talk about inviting them in the room, that's what I'm saying, is that we still have the capacity to be together. We are evolving and changing and transitioning, but I'm hopeful that we still maintain this connection together and that we still have this bond of family together. So that's really where I'm going with that. But also as a woman, and a huge part of who I am, being a mother and a nurturer, I am learning, what do I need to do to still maintain that why of mine? My particular why is a very huge passion for nurturing and being there for people and standing with people and not leaving people and really being at the core of who they are. So now I have switched gears to be a little bit more looking at my bullseye, and the clarity to which I am focused my attention on, yes, still my family and connecting with the kids, but also what am I doing as a human being, as a woman, as a wife, and what am I doing to maintain the connections that are right here in my home, my husband, and that also that I can hopefully affect, and that is other women that I feel like are on this parallel journey and also going through transitions of all kinds. So I am very passionate about supporting people when they're in a new place. Maybe they're in a new space. And this for me is a new transition for sure. And I think one of the things about it is that, you know, you want to stay pertinent. You want to stay full of essence, and all the things as you grow into these next phases of your life. And so that's the conversation that I want to maintain and to keep alive, and to talk to women about. You know, at any age, we're going to go through a transition. And I've been through a few. And now I'm at this new fork in the road. And I just want to look at it with, again, you know, there's a lot involved. As in any transition, you grieve what you no longer have, but I think that opens the space to look ahead to what it is you can do, be, and contribute to.
Great. And on that same topic, actually, one of the things that I'd like you to talk about is dialogue, because a lot of times we assume that the opposite person, be it a child, particularly we're talking about family now, is that they should just know what's in your head, and they should just understand that you love them and that you want to be in their life. But I have seen, as I've, you know, I got to know you, that you make dialogue and you make yourself heard. I'd like you to talk about that a little bit, because I think that's very important. Maybe like me, a lot of women face this, you know, we just expect that, because it's like, hey, you're with me for 20 years, you know me, you know that I love you. You know, I'll do anything for you. But you bring a different angle to it. You do something to that process that makes you heard and makes the other person realize that you have a need. I'd like you to talk about that, Gretchen.
Well, I think that finding my voice over these years is probably one of the most powerful things I've done. And I'm not just saying, you know, speaking or yelling or whispering. What I'm saying is that I'm saying what I authentically need and what I authentically feel. And that's a really, really interesting thing to do, because when you do that, you have to be completely vulnerable. So I can point to an example, and that is our youngest boy moved back for a few years. He was in California, moved back home for a few years. He's 27 and recently moved out. And I was very tearful. I really had some sadness around it. And I have to be honest, I think it was because it was my baby, and completely clear that it was time for him to move out. But it ended a big chapter in my life, a financial were really, really gone, and that I was truly an empty nester and on my own. And I think through that, it was an opportunity to have conversations with my youngest son as he was moving to this new place of his own. And I noticed is that he was really struggling with my sadness. And he would say, "Mom, why are you crying? You know, like, I thought you were happy," and all these things. And he was interpreting it that I was not happy for him. And so what I noticed is that I had to step into a vulnerable conversation and say to him, "Honey, it's not you, it's me," right? That I am struggling with you're leaving, in the sense that you're my child. And this is the kind of the end of the road as my hands-on parent, so to speak. And I really wanted to speak to him a lot about how I was dealing with that, and perhaps even why. And so I spoke to him about not only what was happening like in our midst, present day, but I talked to him a little bit about my past, and perhaps why that I was a little bit more affected by that, right? That I had some feelings of abandonment as a child, and I felt alone. I felt that his leaving was making me feel alone. And so I think that that was an opportunity, albeit hard, to say exactly who I was as a human being, as a woman that was having these feelings, and that I didn't ask him to understand. I just asked to be heard. And I told him what I needed. And that was just the opportunity to stay connected with him. And that, I wasn't crying to make him feel sad, or that he was feeling like he was abandoning me. It just was my feelings. And I really tried to make that clarity, but I also didn't want to just pretend I was all right. And for him to think that I didn't have true feelings. And maybe the truth is, I'm going to be honest, maybe even having a few issues, right? I was trying to be transparent. And so that's when I'm talking about open dialogue. I'm really trying to be more like that as a human being, with my children and my husband. And recently I heard Sherry Lee Ralph. She's an actress that recently won an Emmy Award. And she said, "I feel like after all these years, I've been holding a microphone, and suddenly someone turned the on switch, and they're listening to me." And I think there's a truth to that. And that is that if we really have these opportunities to speak clearly, authentically, and just state what it is for us without any wanting someone else to make it better or reciprocate, but just putting it out there, I think that's really what I'm learning about me and open dialogue and finding my voice.
I think, yeah. And the most important thing I picked up in your conversation here was you are not hoping that they understand, but at least that you make yourself heard. Whether they understand you or not is secondary.
Yes.
They may understand and they might be sympathetic towards what you're feeling or not, but to make yourself heard. And I think that's so important for women, because I think we have a tendency as nurturers, we just think that's our job, to just swallow everything, to just keep it inside and, keep doing the best. What if I say something and someone gets hurt by it? I'm a nurturer and I can't do that. That's just inbuilt. But I think much of that inbuilt thing that we think it is also what we picked up from the culture, that women are supposed to be this way. This is how you're supposed to do things,
Yes.
and not differently. And so we just want to give. And eventually there'll be nothing inside.
Exactly.
right? When we keep giving in. So we need to also have our cups refilled, as you often say. And it's so amazing that God has created us, these beautiful creatures, like inside out. And we need to value ourselves in the light of who he has made us in his image and likeness. And that he has put us here on the earth for a purpose. We have something special to accomplish, and not to discount ourselves in that accomplishment. But because of who we are, we can accomplish who we are. Talking about, am I God's favorite? I think I am. But I think each one of us are able to do that and to say that because of the tremendous love that Jesus has for each one of us. I see the book behind you, Am I Your Favorite? And you're also an author. Would you like to talk a little bit about your book?
Oh, thank you so much, Jules. Well, my book, Am I Your Favorite, is born out of the pandemic. And I was feeling really alone and isolated and missing the kids, missing the days gone by when we used to lay in bed, read bedtime stories, cuddle up, and sometimes just fall asleep together. So I wrote my book, Am I Your Favorite? And I wanted really I did it for myself. I'm going to be honest. I wanted to have a self-care project, and I wanted to write about what I remembered from our childhood when we were all little together. And I found an illustrator in the neighborhood, and she illustrated the book, and it's basically my children and the conversation. They keep teasingly asking me, am I your favorite? Are you sure I'm not your favorite, Mom? And book just to tell them all the things that I remembered and all my favorite things about them. And at the time we had a dog that we all adored named Buddy, a little brown dachshund. And I just wrote a little rhyming book to fill my cup and to remember the times we had together that honestly reminded me of the books that we used to read together. And I wrote it as a surprise to my children and presented it to them. And then I offered it up to the world. It's on Amazon. And I just feel like it was such an opportunity to create. I never knew if I had a creative bug in me. And this was just so much fun to be able to fill my cup with this book and leave a little legacy project. And hopefully someday they'll read it to their kids. And I've had such fun seeing it read to other children. And I've gone to some schools, and it's just been such an opportunity to share about really not favorites, but about how every child, every human being is so unique and special.
Great. And so we can find that book on Amazon?
Yes, you can.
Can you hold that up so that we can see the title nicely?
Yes, I can. I also have an accompanying coloring book, activity book, and a teacher's guide. So yes, it's super fun. And these are really my children. And for example, my daughter always wear pink. In the book, she's got pink everywhere. And so there's Mom on the page with all her kids.
That's so adorable.
Super fun. So yeah.
Great. So now we see this one side of Gretchen, the tender, the affectionate, the caring, nurturing heart. And then I heard something completely that really took me by surprise. What are you doing with all these weights, lifting weights? So that is so amazing. So you're taking care, of your emotional side, and then you're also taking care of your physical side as a woman. So throw some light on this exciting thing that you're doing. I am completely, I don't know what's the word should I say, but floored by it, I guess.
Oh, well, I'm excited, Jules. Well, I was sharing a little bit. So I am really on a journey right now, and I decided that I wanted to incorporate weightlifting into my daily routine. So I've been lifting weights for consistently. I've lifted them over the years and done other things with weightlifting, but this one I really wanted to have some strong consistency with weightlifting. So I've gone to a little gym it's called the Junkyard Training Gym. It's a crazy little gym. And I've been lifting weights consistently, which is about 4 times a week, and for over a year, maybe a year and a half. And then about 2 months ago, the trainer that I work with asked if I would like to be involved in a powerlifting competition. And I was intrigued. I didn't know a whole lot about it, but I just did a little research and decided I want to do that. So I am signed up to do a powerlifting competition, not this Saturday, but next Saturday. And that involves, I'm going to be doing two events. I'm going to be doing deadlifting and I'm going to be doing chest press. And I'm very excited. So basically that just involves heavy lifting. I know that sounds crazy, but that's pretty much what it is. And I've been training with not only lifting weights, but also my nutrition. So I've increased some of my protein and I'm trying to eat more times a day to get adequate supply of protein to my muscles. My muscles will support my bones. One of the things that I really am intrigued by is that I particularly have a strong interest in doing this to stay strong, to stay viable, but also because I have osteoporosis and it's more pronounced in my spine. And I just am looking at what can I do to take care of my body? And it does help my spirit as well. But one of the things that I'm thinking and that I'm trying to do in terms of creating that strength is to support my muscles to get stronger, that will then squeeze onto and hold my bones and make my bones know that they need to stay the strength that they are and hopefully not decrease anymore in their strength. So that's been kind of the emphasis behind it. I'm in my, I started my 9th week of training. And I just love it. I think one of the things I love about it is that the ability to see where you can go. And there's some days when I go into the gym and I've got a heavy lifting day, and I'm going to be honest, guys, I'm afraid, right? I'm really afraid that I can do it. But the truth is that you can only do what you can do, right? But you can also, your mind is such a powerful thing. And I've had a couple of days where I'm not sure my body was all ready for it, but my mind was set on it. And somehow I got through it. And I have to say that I'm excited and honestly a little bit terrified, but I think that it's just one way that I am trying to support myself physically, mentally, and I'm also trying to champion other women in doing things that are a little outside the box.
Great. So there's one thing that you said here was you are training your muscle to support your bones so that they know that they have the support, and they can perform. And it's exactly like that in relationships, especially even with our group that we've been going on. How many sessions have you had now?
Oh gosh, I think we're on
like 80?
our 80, 84th, I think, session together.
Right.
We meet weekly.
Yes, and we have grown and we have supported each other through that. And each one is getting stronger in the different things that they are being called to do. We're being cheerleaders for each other. And I think that what you are doing here in the world right now with your A Powerful You, and you're working on a new course, and then you're doing this training. And in the meantime, unseen, too many people you're doing and supporting women is such an amazing, you're not only just like talk, but you are actually walking the talk. You are being supportive and you're not looking for, what am I going to get out of this? You're just doing that because that's how you're created. God's created you to be a nurturer and to help women to find their place and their voice. Right, Gretchen?
Yes, I agree. And I have to tell you that I am so lit up and excited when we start walking in a journey that makes us feel like we have a purpose and that we have a strong intention, and that when I see that, it just makes me so happy. And I love that we're all so different in our journeys as well, right? And sometimes we have all different places that we want to go or be or things we want to accomplish. And I love that. I love that we're so different. And I love that we have all these different ways to contribute to the world and the different ways God has made us to, really gift the world with their treasures. So that for me is, it just means so much. So like working with you, Jules, to see all the ways that you're creative on so many different levels, and how prolific you are as a writer and an artist, and all the things you do. It makes me feel like it's possible. And I think that's what I want women to know. It's possible. You can do anything you set your mind to, and that you have this only you have the most unique slant on what it is that you can contribute, that you want to do. And I just want to say to women, you can do it. Look at it and create what it is that you really want to do. And then I just say, like, I know Nike's already coined the phrase, but just do it.
Right. And I love what you said about that, because in the book of Ephesians in the Bible, it says that God has created good works for us to do in advance. And so each one of us, we are so unique. The way we can touch someone else's life, no one else can touch. And we need to find that purpose. Why are we created? Why are we here? And then have these plugins like you and, other friends and who would help us on this journey to accomplish those things, with prayer, with, reading the Bible and, asking God for directions. Really, how much do we need him to show us? Because he's been there before us. He's gone, he knows. And every time we struggle, I think that's where we can fall back and say, God, can you just show me? Can you just direct me? Because you already know how it goes, And we were praying. I remember we were praying that I'd find somebody who'd, be a help. And there you were. And you have been part of this journey. And so, Gretchen, once again, thank you so much for coming on my platform called A Girl from Bombay. And I want to thank you for being here. Love that you have this wonderful company called A Powerful You. And I'll let you tell me again, what's your website and where to find your book and how to connect with you.
Oh, wonderful. So my website is apowerfulyou.com, and I have all the information in there. I even have my book listed on my website as well, and as a direct connection to Amazon. But I am on Amazon, and you can either find me under Am I Your Favorite? ? Or my name, Gretchen. Last name's Kadillak, spelled with K's, not C's, Kadillak. Yeah, and anything you need, just reach out, because I'm really passionate about. I'm also very excited to hear what all of you are up to.
One parting thing, if you'd like to say to our guests who are watching, what is that one thing that they can take home?
Well, the thing that I always lean on, and I did say it a little bit earlier, but a lot of times when we go through life and we're going through a transition and maybe we have a little breakdown, I use that term lightly. And what I mean by that is when we have a breakdown, sometimes that just signals us to take a break, sit down, take a moment and breathe and maybe pivot. And I always know that if we do that and we really get centered to our truth, that we'll have a breakthrough.
Wonderful. That's great, to take the negative thing like a breakdown and then see the breakthrough in it. Very good parting words, Gretchen. It was wonderful to have you in this conversation, and I do wish you all the best for meeting your next bullseye, for more sales for your book, and it goes in more hands, and kids can enjoy that with their parents. And on this lifting weight things, and like we talked earlier, it's not about whether you'll win or not, but that you're doing it. That's the most important, that you're achieving it. But I do wish you all the best in all your endeavors, and I pray that God will bless you and your family through and through.
Thank you, Jules. It's been a pleasure to be here.
Thank you so much once again. Bye-bye for now, Gretchen.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to the Girl from Bombay podcast. To connect and share your story, visit our website, authorjuleswilliams.com. That's authorjuleswilliams.com. The Girl from Bombay podcast is a Puzzles Media House production.